The night was thick with a fog that swallowed the road whole, leaving only one thing visible in the distance. A solitary house, standing like a forgotten monument. This was where Ethan, a paranormal vlogger, chasing digital ghosts, found himself. Suitcase in one hand, camera in the other, he walked toward the structure. As he approached, the front door creaked open on its own, an unspoken invitation into the darkness. Inside, the air was heavy, stagnant with the scent of dust and decay. It was a perfect, chilling silence. Ethan, however, felt a thrill, not fear. He whispered to his camera, "This is perfect content." He set up his tripod, ready to capture whatever secrets this place held. That's when he heard it, a faint sound from upstairs. Then, slow, deliberate footsteps pacing the floor above him. Ethan froze, his bravado evaporating. The door slammed shut with a deafening bang, and the house fell silent once more. He had to investigate. Taking a deep breath, he moved toward the grand staircase, each step groaning under his weight, as if in protest. As he ascended, a bone-chilling gust of wind swept past him, and he saw a shadow flicker on the wall. But when he looked down, his own shadow was gone. There was nothing on the floor beside his feet. His heart hammered against his ribs. A faint, ethereal whisper slithered through the air. "You don't belong here." Upstairs, a bedroom door swung open slowly. Inside, an old, ornate mirror stood against the far wall. Ethan approached it, his camera still rolling. He saw his reflection, but it was delayed, a split second behind his own movements. He stood perfectly still, and the reflection blinked. Ethan hadn't. Then, the reflections. Lips twisted into a grotesque, knowing smile, the glass spiderwebbed with cracks, and a new voice echoed from the mirror. "We've been waiting." Instantly, the lights went out, plunging him into absolute blackness. A single, hellish red light pulsed from the mirror, illuminating something unnatural crawling across the ceiling. Panic took over. Ethan turned and ran. The hallway seemed to stretch before him, becoming an impossible, endless corridor. Doors multiplied on the walls, dozens of them, all identical. Whispers now came from every direction, soft and seductive. "Stay. Join us." Desperate, he ripped open the nearest door and stumbled into a room filled with people. But they had no faces, just smooth, blank skin where their features should be. They all turned in unison to look at him, their silent screams contorting their featureless heads. Ethan fell backward, scrambling away, hitting the floor hard. The entire house began to shake violently. The walls started to weep a thick, black liquid that smelled of iron and earth. The floorboards beneath him soft, turning spongy and warm, like living flesh. Before he could process the horror, hands pale and decaying erupted from the ground, their cold fingers wrapping around his legs, pulling him down. He screamed, a raw, primal sound of pure terror. As he was dragged into the floor, a final voice echoed around him. "You are home now." Then, only darkness. He woke up. Sunlight streamed through a clean window, and birds chirped outside. He was in a normal-looking bedroom, cozy and bright. It must have been a nightmare, a horrible, vivid dream. He let out a sigh of relief and stood up, walking over to a mirror on the wall to splash some water on his face. But when he looked, there was no reflection, only a void, a swirling darkness staring back from the polished glass. He touched his face. His skin felt like cold marble. He pressed his fingers to his neck, no pulse. He held his breath, but realized he hadn't been breathing at all. He looked down at his hands. They were changing, the skin slowly darkening to a bruised, inky black, his veins writhing beneath the surface like trapped worms. His eyes in the mirrorless void turned hollow and dark. A voice, not from the room but from inside his own head, announced, "Transformation complete." He opened his mouth to scream, but no sound came out. The bedroom door opened, and the faceless people from his nightmare entered. They didn't attack. Instead, they bowed to him in reverence. One of them stepped forward, its blank face inches from his, and whispered, "Welcome home." And in that moment, Ethan understood everything. He was not a prisoner. He had been chosen. He was no longer human. He belonged to the house. He walked calmly through the halls, the faceless figures parting for him like servants. He reached the entrance and opened the main door. The outside world, the one he used to know, looked distant and unreal, like a faded photograph. Just then, a new traveler appeared on the fog-shrouded road, a young girl with a backpack and a curious glint in her eye. She saw the open door and approached, knocking tentatively. Ethan opened the door wider. He smiled, his face now appearing perfectly normal, handsome even, but his eyes held an ancient, predatory darkness. He spoke, his voice warm and inviting. Come inside. You're safe here. The girl smiled back, relieved, and stepped across the threshold. As the door swung slowly shut behind her, a final thought echoed in the silent halls of Ethan's mind. The house doesn't kill people, it replaces them.